Hi, this is Lotus Head. My name is Jeff. This is going to be my first ever video blog or vlog. It's going to tell people about my power. And by my power, I mean the power cards from a card game called Magic the Gathering. There's this card, a Mox Sapphire. This card, a Mox Emerald. This card, a Beta Mox Ruby. This card, a Black Lotus. I'm Lotus Head. That's a Black Lotus. It's not a coincidence. A Mox Pearl and a Mox Jet. This will all be about my Mox Jet. I'll get back to that in a little bit. To start with, we'll talk about the Black Lotus. The Black Lotus is a magic card that is the most powerful magic card in all of Magic. Monetary value of this at the moment is about $800, and I traded to get one of these about 12, 13, 14 years ago when they were worth about 40, 50 bucks. And I traded a bunch of cards that I didn't care about. Well, I did, but I wanted this more than those. And I had no idea that this would be worth a whole lot of money. But I did whatever it took to trade for it, and I got it, and I got a Black Lotus, and I'm happy. I eventually got it signed by the artist Christopher Rush, when I decided that I'm never going to sell this card. But this is my Black Lotus that I traded for. For you Magic geeks out there, I traded, and I got this memorized: 3 Shivan Dragons, a Rocketeer Ridges, a Berserk, a Force of Nature, things like that. A bunch of cards for one card, but this card is much better than those. The next one is called a Mox Sapphire. This is a blue Mox. Moxes are artifacts that tap for a color of mana. This one taps for blue because it's a sapphire, it's blue. And this is the best Mox because blue is the best color in Magic, hands down. And this particular Mox was won by my teammate, Austin. He was 12 at the time. He beat up his opponent. His opponent cried. It was all great. And yeah, that's what this is. I had another Mox that I traded for. This Mox, one just like it, and I traded the other card, my friend did, for other cards, so I only got one of these, but this one was won in combat. This Mox is called a Mox Emerald. It taps for green mana because it's emerald, and this used to belong to a guy named Kamikaze Kelly, and back in the day we didn't use sleeves or anything, so we just shuffled and shuffled and shuffled away, and the conditions got worse and worse. And he cleaned this card with chemicals, so the edges are like totally worn off, even more than normal worn off. And somebody bought this from him for 30 bucks or 50 bucks and gave it to me as a present, and they didn't know that I knew Kamikaze Kelly. But when I saw this card and the condition, I'm like, that's Kamikaze Kelly's card. I know that. And so this one's special to me. It used to belong to Kamikaze. He was the first guy that had this crazy Type 1 Magic deck that was crazy and powered and dual lands and things like that. This next card is called a Mox Pearl. It taps for a white mana because it's a pearl. This is the loser Mox. The Emerald, it's also the loser Mox, but this one's a little bit more. Anyways, this one I won in a tournament. My first ever tournament that I won with the deck that I built that everybody said sucked, but I believed in it. And I sold this card, this exact one, to a friend of mine for $250. That's friend rates. It's worth more than that. It's worth about $300, $350. And well, he gave it to me after he's going to sell all of his other cards, but he gave me this one card because he knows that I deserve it. He deserves it. We both deserve it. But you know, this is my Mox Pearl that I won. I had another Mox Pearl because I traded for all my power a long time ago, and it got traded for some other cards that are in my deck that are almost as powerful. And this one's a Beta Mox Ruby. It's black bordered, not like the other ones that are white bordered, because it's older. It's from the one of the original editions of Magic, and I won this last month. I'm pretty happy about that. I had to beat a bunch of really good players, and I got kind of lucky, but the Mox Ruby that I used to have, because because I always had all the Mox and the Black Lotus and stuff and a Time Twister. The Mox Ruby I used to have got stolen from me. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where. I just know that when I went to a tournament, I shuffled up on the first round, and I had 59 cards on my deck. You need 60 cards in your deck, and I had 59. It turns out my white-bordered unlimited Mox Ruby was gone. And what can I do? Somebody jacked it. Alright, this Mox Jet taps for black mana because it's a jet, it's black. This is what the story is about. This will be in part 2. This is just part 1. This Mox Jet I bought from a card store in Napa back in 1994. That's like 13, 14 years ago. And I bought it for $20. I dropped my aunt off in Napa, and I got lost coming back because I'm not really from there. And I was like, you know, maybe there's a card store in the area, just for fun. Why not? And I found one. And this is on the shelf. It was $20. It was brand new. They were worth about $30 at the time. But at the time, I didn't think cards were worth like actual money, because I was never a collector of anything. And it was new when I got it, but I played this card and played this card and played this card. I don't know if you can see any of this. And it's not as beat up as an Emerald, because that one got like actually chemically damaged. This one's just normal wear and tear. But it's my Mox Jet that I had. And yeah. Well, I bought a second Mox Jet from another friend of mine, Lunar. So I had, for a while, I used to have 2 Sapphires, 2 Emeralds, 2 Pearls, and 2 Jets, but no Rubies, and 1 Black Lotus. Well, actually, I used to have 2 Black Lotuses, but that's another story. I lent it to somebody, he moved away. That's what it is. Kelly Mitchell, I want it back. I'm sure it got sold on eBay. And I had my Ruby was gone, so I didn't have that. So I had 8 of these. Anyways, this got traded for some other stuff. This got traded for some other stuff, and this got traded for some other stuff. And my other Mox Jet, I had. But this one, I lent to a teammate, and it got stolen. Now, it took a couple weeks, a couple months for my teammate to say, yeah, it actually probably did get stolen, because they thought it might be like in a box somewhere. They haven't looked for it, or they're just afraid to tell me that they think it got stolen. But last week, they finally admitted that it probably got stolen. And it happened, I didn't notice it until about 6 weeks ago. So last week was when they finally admitted, we don't know where it is, we think it got stolen. And Friday night, today is Sunday night, Friday night, the 9th, I guess, they said, yeah, we think we got stolen, we think we kind of have an idea who did it. And that person might be at the place that we're going to go play some Friday Night Magic. And if he's probably going to show up, and if he does, we'll point him out to you, but don't talk to him, don't let him around there. But we think we know. We're not sure. But if it was anybody, it was probably those guys. And that guy showed up, and they said, that guy. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, what can I do? And then I went home. There was a tournament on Saturday. That was yesterday. Today is Sunday. And I will tell you about how my Mox returned to me one day later, after my teammate said, we think this guy took it, and that's it.